evening, everybody. Welcome back to Devils United. We're back with another Premier League preview. It feels like it's been forever since I've done another Premier League preview, probably because of the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and international break. But nothing better than to start my Premier League preview with John. John, how you doing?
Good evening to you, Maisy. Good evening to the chat as well. And it's just great to join you again. The Premier's back, baby.
The Premier League is actually back. It allowed me to concentrate a little bit more on the women's game, watch some more games of that. But honestly, I was bored as hell, like watching these international breaks. So I literally just non-stop watched the women's football. Like, normally I just watch the odd few, but I literally full on bashed it out last weekend. Just because I can't be doing it. And at least we know Premier League football's back. We don't have to rate Scott McTominay anymore.
Wow.
I had to get that in.
I know. You know what? I'll tell you what, though. I mean, you've been linked to him as well, by the way. We've been linked to him as well, man. And I'm thinking, are we really going to get this guy?
Do you want him? That's the question. Do you want him? I literally, if you want, I will literally drive him all the way to St. James's Park for you.
It's a hard one. Look, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
that's fair enough. That is fair enough. Good evening, Luca.
I take Casemiro, though.
Oh. No.
It's a gas.
You ain't stealing gas. You ain't stealing gas from us.
No chance. No chance. Not under your watch.
No, I'll be literally like, it'd be like one of them shotgun weddings. I'll be like, you ain't leaving me.
No chance. Wow.
Good evening, Luca. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in.
Luca.
I know you was on it before, wasn't you? On Luca's show this evening.
Super 6. Great content, by the way. Mm-hmm. Big up to Luca.
Hey there, Ravi. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. Ravi's gone 3-2 for Man United. I am not amused at this. I don't know if you know, but every time Ravi predicts something, it goes the exact opposite. So now I'm scared.
Oh, bless him. He doesn't like United, really, but he just loves to wind you up.
Yeah, he does love to wind me up, that's for sure. Big up Niall as well. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're well. Happy Friday to you also. Happy Friday indeed, John.
Oh, thank you now. Yeah, happy Friday. At least it's the weekend, and here we are. So, yeah, weekend, sir.
Niall said, smash the like, subscribe, and share button and turn on the notifications. Absolutely. Thanks for that, Niall. And also on my pinned tweet, I do have a WSL Team of the Season with a twist. If you want to check that out, become a Gold Devil or higher to check out all the videos. Let's have a see. Niall said, Scott McTominay, put him as a 10. He will score goals for fun. We have Bruno Fernandes there. Bruno ain't getting dropped for Scott McTominay. But you know what, right? The guy's not clinical. Like, I'm going to do this stat about Scott McTominay. But before I do that, I'll just say, hey there, Nippon. I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in.
Nippon.
You're our favourite Chelsea fan, Nippon. You really are. Hey there as well. I like coffee. I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. I'm going to bring something up because, right, you've probably seen all this Scott McTominay love by Man United fans for some reason this season, like during the international break. Fair enough, he scored a few goals. You can, like, you know, you can't discredit it. But I'm going to show you this. So, Man United fan page put, did you know Scott McTominay was originally a striker during the academy days for a long time? We can see why he's so clinical. 4 goals in 2 games. So this is my response to Centre Devils. They're obviously going to reply back. 3 weeks ago, majority of the fan base wanted him sold, and now he should play as a striker, even though he played as a midfielder for both games for Scotland, and he's so clinical. In the Premier League, he has had 135 appearances, 11 goals, making that he has scored 8.15% of his games. How's that clinical?
Beats me, mate. It beats me. That ain't clinical enough. Like, do you know what I mean? But look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, that some of the United fans are just a flip and a flop. They flip and flop. 1 minute they big them up, and the next minute they don't. Just flip and flop. And you know what it is? Some of the fan base, you know, at different clubs, you know, it's like me. I just say how it is. Do you know what I mean? Just if you don't perform, and I'll say you're not performing. But look, big up to Scott McTominay. I mean, getting 4 goals in 2 games, so I'm afraid that's for Scotland, not for your team.
Exactly. I'm not looking at international break and saying he's a good player. I'm literally, as I've gone off his Premier League games. And he's a box-to-box midfielder. 2 of them goals were from Leeds 2 seasons ago. So if you work that out, if you're taking Leeds out of the equation, he scored 6 goals. And he's been there since the Jose Mourinho era. That's nowhere near good enough.
No, not for a team like Man United. Not at all. When you're box-to-box, you've got to be scoring goals. I look at players like Edson Alvarez, players like him, Manu Kone, someone like him, Andrea Guisa, someone like him for Napoli. You know what I mean? Thomas Partey, you know, he can play box-to-box if he needs to, sort of thing as well. But one thing I'm going to say, right, I'm not going to lie, but I mean, look, everyone's big out Scotland to say, yeah, he plays best striker in the world, yeah. But at the end of the day, right, come on. Newcastle fans, or some Newcastle fans, want this guy, right? And look, would I take him? I said it's better players than Scott McTominay, to be fair. No disrespect. But for 40 million, I think we had like a guy called Kyle. I mean, he's been on me show. He likes him. He said, go and get Scott McTominay, yeah? But we need to scout around and get better players than Scott McTominay. No disrespect to you, Maisy, but look,
you know what? I said it on Tony's channel yesterday. He's not a Premier League player. He is not good enough to play for top Premier League clubs. I know there's already been a question regarding the transfer strategy, but for me, if I was Newcastle, if I was going to be whoever scouts for Newcastle, you want a team that's going to last Eddie Howe for a very long time. Eddie Howe works brilliant with young players. I would be scouting from 24 and under and having a team what will last easily 10 years for Eddie Howe, and that will just get better and better every single season. And that's what Arsenal scouts have done for Arteta, and this season it's worked for him very well.
I'm going to have to agree. It's all about fitting in the style of play. I mean, look, you're quite right there, Maisy. Like, you know, you have to have good scouts. We are going to get good scouts, by the way. And we've got scouts. I've got Steve Nixon. He's the, I think he's the chief scout for Newcastle. He's specialised South American as well, affiliate, and gets the names on as well. But you're right. I mean, go back to McTominay. I don't think he's good enough for a top team. Probably for West Ham, maybe, perhaps, but not for Newcastle United. Where we want to be, right? We have got to get bigger names than Scott McTominay if we are going to challenge, if we are going to fight for the title, if we are going to be in the mix.
For like a bench player who come off the bench to help you in the Champions League game, or if you got into Europa that season, for instance, instead of the Champions League, and you want to play a rotated team against like Sharif or something, that he would work for that. But he would not work to win you trophies. He'd be worked there for squad depth.
Yeah, not for me. Definitely not. Because I thought this over, right? I mean, I'm flipping and flopping about him. Should I take him? I think, no, if you're the richest club in the world, then you're right. I mean, he's got to do it against the bigger teams. He's got to do it against the big sides, yeah? For club football like Man United, he's got to do it against Real Madrid. He's got to do it against Barca. He's got to do it against Bayern Munich. He's got to do it against Napoli. All those teams, and then we find out how truly a player Scott McTominay is. But again, I wouldn't be forking out 40 million for the kid. I wouldn't be forking that money out, not 40 mil. definitely no way.
We've been robbing people for 40 mil. Never mind, buddy. Sell him up for 40 mil. If we sold him, it'd be full of robbery. It'd be like what Leicester done with us with Maguire. Like,
I know. Absolutely. It's just a madness. All this money is just a madness. You pay ripping off people like, they're asking like vast amounts of money like Mason Mount. How much is he worth? 70 million quid. Really?
Yeah, I read 70 mil today.
Oh, you gotta be joking.
They're making a 70 mil profit. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I love Mason Mount. Like, I like him for his, like, he's obviously playing ability, but I think he's a very attractive man. Don't get me wrong. But the thing is, based off how he has played this season, he's definitely not worth 70 mil. But then you look at players like who's been sold for a lot more, like Jack Grealish and Mudryk. He is worth more than them players, and for that reason, he's won the Champions League. Like, there's not many players who can say, I have won the Champions League, and he's been in back-to-back cup finals in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. He's been competing for the league. So, if you looked at his price tag, it's more justified for 70 million than it is for Mudryk's and Jack Grealish's.
Yeah, gonna have to agree, but it just goes to show that Chelsea are willing to spend big. I mean, Man City's willing to spend big as well, but I mean, Mason Mount, watched him this season. He hasn't been that great, to be fair. Now, whether it's done a new management change, I don't know, but it's just not. I've not seen a Mason Mount. Well, I've seen the past couple of seasons been outstanding, but he's now been linked to Bayern Munich under Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, he wants him for the new season. Yeah, but 70 million, I don't think he's worth the money. Mudryk, 88 mil. I tell you what, Shakhtar Donetsk fleeced him. Absolutely fleeced him. And he's not in. And the thing is, right, he looks good in glimpses. He looks fantastic in glimpses. He'll get better. But at the end of the day, right, he's got to do a lot more. He's got to do a lot more for me.
Agreed. Hey there, Kai. Thanks for coming in. I hope you are well. To be honest, looking at Bayern Munich's team, they've got a fantastic team. Don't get me wrong. But I actually think they are lacking creative midfielders. So I do think he would actually slot in very well at Bayern Munich, just because they've got a fantastic midfielder in Kimmich. They've got Musiala, but they don't have someone there in between them both. And I think that really lets down Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that's what they need, a creativity. That's what they need. That's why they're not being attractive this season. Do you know what I mean? They should be winning games and not be winning. That's the problem. That's why Nagelsmann's lost his job. That's the thing. But look, Bayern Munich will improve. They know what's needed in the summer. I'm sure they will. But this season, I still think they're going to find a way winning the Bundesliga, because Dortmund have a lot to say about that. But I believe Bayern's got to play Dortmund tomorrow or Sunday, one of the 2 days. But for me personally, I think they look like they need a creative midfielder. Mane's just got back in, by the way, back in the team, right? But I'm sure he'll be out for next season because he's been injured a bit. So, yeah, I think Thomas Tuchel knows exactly what's needed. I'm sure they need a creativity. And he lost his 4-3-3 formation. He plays 3 at the back for Chelsea. But Goretzka is another name did mention as well. He's a good player.
He is a good player, but the thing is, he's a box-to-box. He isn't a creative midfielder. That's what lets down Goretzka. He's very good at bringing possession into the final third. I think if people were looking at stats alone, based off goals in the Bundesliga, he's only scored 21% of his games. So if you was going to look at it as a creative aspect, you'd say no. But he's very good at the dirty job, what you would look at for other players. Like you would look at that for Nunes, for instance, when he was at Sporting. He's one of them, the ones who do all the dirty work. That's the kind of thing what Goretzka does. He is a creative, but he's one for bringing the possession forward. Gnabry and Sane are not midfielders.
I was going to mention them as well. I was going to mention those
They're wingers,
though.
The wingers, that's the problem. They wouldn't be in the midfield.
Yeah, Thomas Muller, even though he's 32, 33, he can play he's a creativity as well. He can play creative midfield where it needs to be. I still think he's got it. I really do. I mean, look, he's not as agile as he was, but he is still got football in brain. And he's loved the Bayern Munich fans. They love him. He's a legend there. And I think it could be a place for him. But I think he'll probably go for a younger version in the summer. And I think they will get it right.
And with Gravenberch, he's a defensive midfielder. He isn't creative, so he wouldn't be classed as that. And plus, he isn't been playing any games. He's a good player, but he hasn't even been playing for Bayern Munich. It's been very hard to get in for him.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Maisy. I mean, look, I'm not watching a lot of this guy, but he is really good. Like I said, box-to-box midfielder. I think he's really good. And is he a Dutch? Is he Dutch? He is, isn't he? He's a Dutch lad, isn't he? Is he a Dutch lad or is he?
Gravenberch, he is Dutch. Yeah,
good player, solid. And he's a big guy.
They got him on Ajax on a free, didn't they? Because he didn't extend.
Now, Ajax wasn't very happy about that because, they could have got a lot of money for this guy. But obviously, he's letting for the way he's been brought up, the way he's been crushed, and he's let the Ajax down like that and getting away on the free. Wow, that's not good. They're not happy about that at all whatsoever. But fair play for Bayern. They got the guy on the free. He's a good player. And just get better. He's only a young lad.
Absolutely. Hey there as well, A Stapleton. Thank you, L Stapleton. Thank you for coming in. Hope you are well, and thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Leslie. Good evening to you. Enjoy your night.
Leslie.
And, she's lovely, Leslie. She is. I've spoken to her a few times, and she's lovely.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Leslie. So we'll go with Newcastle for this season. I think for me, in terms of the Newcastle season, they've really been the underdogs. I would like to say, just because I think a lot of people never expected Newcastle to be where they are right now and get into a cup final so soon under Eddie Howe.
Absolutely. I mean, look, what a cracking season Newcastle's had as well. I mean, I did expect them to get this far. I'm not going to lie, but I expect them to be finishing if I said finish here for 9th and a cup run, I would have probably been happy with that. But I say go further, because you've got the players to do it. Yeah, started well in the season, right? And during Man City, 3-1 up. Then we lost to Liverpool in controversial circumstances. The ref played 8 minutes, should have been 5. But other than that, we just dusted ourselves down, got on with it, win some football games, right? Eddie Howe, I mean, really looking at 16 months ago, right? We were bottom of the table, right? When he took over. And now, here we are, 16 months on, we're 5th. And we got to the cup final. Okay, we didn't win it. But at the end of the day, it got us to the final. That's what it's all about. That's the benchmark. Now, the players come through have really done well. Joe Linton, for example, look where he was. He's one of the worst signings in Newcastle's history. And he is playing like a £40 million player. Let's be real. That guy is really, really good. He has 2 years left on his contract, by the way. I think Newcastle need to be mindful of that as well. And you look at the defence, right? We defend them properly. We are defending properly, right? Sven Botman at the back. Okay, I mean, he made a horrendous mistake against Forest. I thought he's a fantastic defender. Great defender. Dan Burn, left back. Yeah, he's not a left back, but he's only covering really until Target gets injured, gets fit. Now he's back in. Kieran Trippier doing Kieran Trippier things. Nick Pope, he's been outstanding this season, but I tell you what, you're still lucky against Wolves, by the way. He should have been sent off, real talk, yeah. The midfield, Bruno Guimaraes doing Guimaraes things. He's brilliant. Joe Linton back to his best. Joe Linton's getting there. Sean Longstaff, for me, he's a good player, but from next season, he'll probably be a bench player, unfortunately. I like Sean Longstaff to be a bench player, but he does work hard for the team. And then up front, on the wings, Miggy started well. It's gone back to the old Miggy, unfortunately. I'm not going to lie. Jacob Murphy turned the season around. And you know what? He's turned it around, by the way. About time he did, by the way. Anthony Gordon, he may not be playing tomorrow. He's out injured. Alan Maximin, for me. Now, this is going to upset a lot of Newcastle fans, right? But you can have all the tech has, you can have all the skill. We said this before. You can run, you can dribble, but you haven't got an end product to your game. You're nothing. Absolutely now. You have to have an end product. ASM is unpredictable. I like him, but he's not exactly Kafar Sheelan, isn't he? Not at all. Do you know what I mean? But and up front, Callum Wilson, I love him, but I think he's done now at Newcastle. I'm sorry, but I think he needs to be moved on. And Isak, what can I say about this guy? 6 goals in 10 games. That's my striker. I tell you what, he's just going to get better and better and better. And I love his movement. He works out for the team. And that goal against Forest was absolutely unbelievable. It's like a semi-scoring kick. He got there. Beautiful goal. But all in all, right, what a cracking season, Maisy. But we need a bench in the summer. We need to improve. We need to spend about 250 million quid in the summer if you are to get any closer from the likes of Man City, Arsenal, Man United. And then we can mount a serious title charge. Do that. Brilliant. But look, what a season we're having. And we're 5th in a minute, 2 games in hand. Champions League is in our grasp.
Absolutely. Hey there, Liam. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're well. Hey there, curlers. I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. It will go a long way to securing top 4 if we take a win on Sunday. Fingers crossed. I'm not hopeful, bear in mind though. And hey there, Static. Thanks for coming in. Static. Hope you're well. Yeah, I agree with everything you've said about Newcastle, and for me, I think the bench is probably the thing that's letting you down the most, because you had Isak coming off the bench when Callum Wilson was starting, and you've seen them bit of glimpses there of Isak, but then you're just worrying that kind of way that, he hasn't had enough time to get us over the line. But now he's starting, he's being superb. We've seen that Joe Willock, he's made his way to being a starting 11 player because Miguel Almiron has dropped out on form. But I do agree, because especially when you looked at the bench, if you're looking at a Carabao Cup final, like you've seen us bringing Sabitzer on, you've seen us bringing say Jadon Sancho on, but then you looked at Newcastle, you're bringing on like Matt Ritchie, and then it's that big drop off compared to the starting 11. I think you really secured that, but you just need to secure the bench, because I'd always say that bench is, if anything, but just as important as the starting 11, maybe even a bit more important, because they could be the difference for that make and break game.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think to myself, well, are the options, yeah? But the options have got on the bench. Sovereign's played under Rafa Benitez, some played under Steve Bruce. We haven't improved on the bench, really, let's be real. But you talk about the bench, Matt Ritchie be on his way, Ryan Fraser's on his way, maybe Lascelles, yeah? Paul Dummett's on his way, Jamal Lewis on his way. That's 5 players right there. Excuse me. They can go. They can go.
I heard Dummett is extending his contract.
No. That's not. I hope not. He said, I hope it does, because at the end of the day, he hasn't played for us at all the last couple of seasons. Injury prone. Let's be real, right? I'm not. Listen, I love Paul Dummett, yeah, but to be where you want to be, we can't do. What's the word? Against the S set. I can't remember his S word. Settlement, and it'll come to us. But at the end of the day, right, Paul Dummett needs to be playing football elsewhere, because at the end of the day, and no disrespect for Paul Dummett, I love him, but he needs to be moved on, because we need players that are coming from and out. We cannot afford to carry people that is injured all the time. We can't carry cheerleaders. Do you know what I mean? He needs game time. He needs to be playing elsewhere, and I just hope, I wish him well, but not for me. If we want to be serious, then we've got to get someone fresh. We need to get someone who is going to be a winner. Someone's going to come in and make a difference in Newcastle United. Paul Dummett will not make a difference for Newcastle United. And I don't care what anyone say. And I know people in the fast are going to come and say, keep Dummett on the keep Dummett because he's going to be good for the club. Well, no, I want to win things now.
No, exactly. And it's been a very long spell, hasn't it, for Newcastle in terms of trophies, and you had that bad spell of Mike Ashley. I actually seen a thread about Mike Ashley from when he first took over. I seen all the pictures of him getting drunk at the ground.
Yeah.
It's just something I think you'd never really understand unless you're actually that fan of what the ownership could be really like. And you look at it and think, wow, like I see the pictures and I thought, wow, like I can understand why Newcastle fans were so frustrated under Mike Ashley.
Absolutely. I mean, he came, right? I'll tell you what happened, right? He came, bought the club, but you got to do due diligence, right?
Yeah.
he just bought the club outright without doing the checks. What he didn't realise, the club was 200 million debt.
I heard about that, yeah. And then didn't he cut all the funds and like to the bare minimum because of the debt?
Well, he got a loan out for 134 million quid loan, right? To cover that debt, basically, which is going to be paid off not much per season, but obviously he's going to be here for a long time. But serves him right, because at the end of the day, right, he tried to buy the club to make a quick shilling, right? It didn't come off at all whatsoever. You know what I mean? And Mike Ashley paid the price. Since then, he's been with us 15 years, right? He hardly turns up to games, right? And he doesn't care. He's quite happy finishing 17th place every single season. You right there? Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Carry on, John.
Sorry. Basically, he's happy finishing 17th every single season. He doesn't care about the fans' opinions. He doesn't care about us at all whatsoever. All he's there for is just to make money. And that is it. And the Sports Direct, right, he changed the stadium to Sports Direct Arena for about a season, right, which free advertised as well. Yeah. And the guy just doesn't give a toss about Newcastle United. Yeah. I mean, you can have a go as much as you want. He doesn't care. And do you realise we're the only football club at the time didn't have a board? No vice chairmans, no directors. They only had
Wasn't
one
it like you had gamblers or so? Didn't you have like gamblers or something who Mike Ashley gives some of them?
Yeah, Derek Lambias, Justin Barnes, it was Lee Charnley as well. And to be honest, I can't remember the other people's name. Was it Keith someone? And but he left. But but he's just got people like Derek Lambias as well. He's casinos as well. That guy doesn't know now about football at all whatsoever. And when they got Adam Pardew in, right? Apparently, Adam Pardew was in debt, and that's why he worked for Ashley to pay off that debt. And a lot of people didn't know that, and that was kind of true. But at the end of the day, the one thing I'm going to say, right? Thank God, we were no longer owned by Mike Ashley, no longer.
Oh yeah.
And we've moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, absolutely. You have. You've got the new owners now who's doing very well, not just for the men's team but also the women's team. Hey there, Reese, as well. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're well. Kai said as well he wants Saudi owners for West Ham. And it would be big for West Ham, that's for sure.
I'll touch on that as well.
Yeah,
sorry, I'll touch on that as well. All this tests now, they're coming in now to make sure everything's in order, right? And they said that they're going to have this new rule in to see if they're suitable or not. That could affect your club as well. It could, because they're going to do the checks as well. We're fine because we got in the nick of time. They're on about doing it every season. Just do like a yearly review to see if they're suitable for the test. I tell you what, though, Premier League needs to sort it out real quick, because at the end of the day, if they get it wrong and they remove them, this could be court cases all the way through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when you've seen these new rules, aren't you, about the new ownership coming into place.
The reason they're doing this now, because if the Saudis bought Man United or Tottenham, I can tell you right now, this will not even be brought up at all, because it's Newcastle United, right? And all this narky they're coming out, they bought it in. That is why, because they do it because of Newcastle United, because they do not want us upset the Big Six. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, we've potentially got Qatar. I don't know if you have seen rumours that we could not play in the Champions League because of PSG having Qatar owners as well, which is absolutely ludicrous.
Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
Because you look at Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg both play in the Champions League, but both own Red Bull. But the thing is, Qatar is owned. I think it's like Qatar government that owns PSG. but it's actually an individual of Qatar owned by. It's going to be looking at Sheikh Jassim. And Sheikh Jassim is doing it himself out against his father's will. So it's run by him, not the government of Qatar.
Yeah, I've kind of heard that as well. But they're in a strong position to buy the club, but they're not sure going to pay $6 billion for the club. That's what their Glazer wants, $6 billion. And I'm sure they'll pay that up, sort of thing. I can see you getting new owners next season. I really do.
Curl is a set a good point as well. United and Newcastle need both a strong summer for quality options as teams. I have an idea of what I think Newcastle should strengthen in, but I want to know from yourself, where do you think Newcastle should strengthen in the summer?
I said earlier, we need to spend 250 million in the summer if we are going to get closer and go to phase 2. We need another striker. We need another CDM, box-to-box player. That's apparent. We need another defender, definitely a left back. The goalkeeper, we're fine in that. But there's one keeper I'd love to sign if there's one available, Diogo Costa for Porto. But he's got a 75 million release clause as well.
It's too dear.
He's what?
It's too dear, isn't it? I wouldn't pay that for a goalkeeper.
Why no? I mean, they wanted, he signed a 5-year deal, didn't he? And then on top of that, he got a release clause of 75 million quid. So that's going to put a lot of clubs off in a way. But we definitely need another right-sided midfielder, if possible, to come from Miggy. And also left-sided midfielder for ASM. But at the end of the day, we need 6 players. We need to beef up the bench as well. So we're going to need everyone, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? We're going to have a busy summer. We have to. We're in phase 2 now, I hope. And Eddie Howe knows that. And I hope that you get the players coming. We're going to be so busy in the summer. Let's be real.
Especially if you get Champions League, it's a lot, or even Europa League, you've got a lot more funding compared to what you did last January in the summer as well. I said as well, if I was Newcastle, the highest priority would be a defensive midfielder. And the reason why I said that is because, for me, I think Bruno is playing out of position for Newcastle. Because I think Bruno is a creative player and he benefits a lot better in the 4-3. If he plays the 4-3-3, he's better off playing in the 8 role. And he's playing in the middle of that, so he's playing more defensive. And I think you could have a lot more goals into your game if you had him further forward and you had a natural defensive midfielder there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. We've been crying out for a CDM for quite a long time. Someone's going to protect the back 4. Right? I mean, like you got Casemiro, haven't you? If we can get a quality player in the CDM like a Casemiro, we'll not be far away. Like I said, Edson Alvarez would be fantastic for Ajax. I've always said that Man Utd from Mönchengladbach. There are some good players out there. Someone's going to come in and make a difference, but it has to be a winner. Has to be a winner in a CDM. They're not going to cost a lot. And like a Thomas Partey, similar to him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But Anguissa will be good. I take Paulinho as well from Fulham.
Oh, I love Paulinho. You know me. I was rating this guy for you see my me and you done podcasts every week on your channel. Paulinho. I stopped talking about this guy.
No. I bet you love to have a United man.
Paulinho. Yeah, I did. I had Steve. He's a Fulham fan. And he literally said to me, he went, Maisy, I've got a surprise for you before the stream started. I was like, oh, what's this surprise? He had a Fulham shirt with Paulinho on the back. I was like, that's gonna lie, that's beautiful shirt. That is beautiful. I was like, it's so beautiful. He was like, you can become a Fulham fan if you want. I was like, I can't. I've already got my friends, some Liverpool fans of friends of mine, who want me to convert to one of them. But speaking of Liverpool fans, American Cop's on the channel, so thank you for coming in. I hope you are well.
Big up, mate.
But let's go on to as well with Newcastle. In your opinion, what is the aims for Newcastle now coming on to next season? Now you can see where you can do with the signings you've got at the moment and Eddie Howe, how far do you think you can go with Eddie Howe?
I just hope we can go a long way with Eddie Howe. I mean, this guy is a young manager, and what he's done, what he's brought to the table, is playing some open attacking football, and he's fantastic at that. He gives players a chance. He's young, and the players love playing for Eddie Howe. The training and methods are fantastic, and it goes a long way. Yeah, but hopefully next season, I'd love to see us be in the top 4 Champions League. Let's be real. And I take it all day long. We need to get in the top 4. We can get top 4, which is doable this season. Then the sky's the limit. It's supposed to be a 5-year project. Yeah, 5-year. We could do it in 1 in Eddie's first season, full first season, and the Order's full season as well. The Premier League are going to hate that because they do not want us in the Champions League. But we're going to get there. Because winning the last 2 games, Maisy, could springboard our season, right? Going into Sunday, win the last 2 games against United is cool, absolutely cool. I think if we get Champions League, I think our owners will spend big. We're really going to spend big and get out the players who are deemed not good enough. We have to say thanks to a couple of players that's got us there, but we need better players. Now, I had Lottie on my channel the other day, and Eddie Howe deserves a chance, yeah? And I've heard as well, Stan Collymore has come out and said, get rid of Eddie Howe, bring in Nagelsmann. He said that last week. I don't know what planet Stan is on. I don't get it. Because he said Newcastle should be a big club with rich owners. They should have like a top-class manager in Nagelsmann. Yeah? I don't get it. Eddie Howe, I will say, could be judged in Europe next season. Could be judged and see how he does in Europe to see if he gets found out. Yeah? And Colin also said as well, if you go and play for Europe, if a European player wants to come for Newcastle United, they're going to say, Eddie who? Never heard of Eddie Howe. Because in European, like the top clubs in Europe, they might not have heard of Eddie Howe. That is the thing. Jose Mourinho, apparently, right, if Eddie Howe loses his job in Newcastle, I'm pray to God he doesn't, I guarantee you now, Jose Mourinho's name is going to be on that list. I'm telling you. He's going to be right up there. Because he wants to take over Newcastle to follow his hero, Bobby Robson.
Yeah, I think for me, though, in terms of Newcastle, I definitely do think that the Champions League is definitely a big test, especially knowing that Eddie Howe, he hasn't done that before. But people, I said the same though with Graham Potter, but the difference is Graham Potter inherited a fantastic team, whereas, no disrespect to Newcastle when I say this, Eddie Howe's team isn't a world-class team compared to with Chelsea's, and with nowhere near as much as investment as Chelsea's either. And I think, if anything, I would actually say Eddie Howe would actually have a better success than Graham Potter, just at the fact it's him. He's made this team the way it is. He's made Joe Linton a class player. He's brought out the best out of Longstaff. He's even made Joe Willock look fantastic. So if he could do the wonders, there's no reason why he couldn't do well in the Champions League. And going on to Nagelsmann as well, don't know about you, but when I say this about Nagelsmann is I don't get the hype in Nagelsmann, because yes, he done well at Leipzig, don't get me wrong, but I think he was... I don't know how much dick I'm going to say when I say this. I think he was underachieving in this Bayern Munich team. He dropped far too many points where he shouldn't be dropping points.
I'm going to have to agree. And that's why some of the Bayern players just thinking, what the hell's going on, sort of thing. You know what I mean? They're just not happy with his training methods, the way he's picking the players, and they just don't seem happy. There's been a leak as well at the Allianz as well. And for me, would I take Nagelsmann? Probably not yet. Because at the end of the day, he's got a lot to prove.
He needs to prove himself.
Yeah. I mean, where else can he go and manage in Germany? I don't think he can, because he's done Bayern Munich. That is the thing. But Probably Dortmund in the years to come, maybe. So you never know. Leipzig, love to take him back. Who knows? But look, at the end of the day, right, he's 35 and there's still plenty of time to become manager. Plenty of time, man. But going back to that, the coffee says down there, I mean, Simeone.
I have to mark that.
I'm glad you mentioned Simeone because he's leaving Atletico Madrid at the end of the season after 11 years.
I knew that you would love that comment because you absolutely adore Simeone.
I do. I think he's a cracker manager. The thing is, right, I mean, our fan base, right, is saying, but he plays terrible football, anti-football. Hold on a minute. This is the manager that has won at Barca, at Real Madrid to win the title. Or one of them won to win the title. He's won the La Liga 3 times. I think it's 3 times. I think he won it 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
He's won the Europa League as well. Don't get us wrong. That guy's record at Atletico Madrid is brilliant, absolutely fantastic. You know, but he is going to come. It's going to be a project. It has to be a project, and you have to give him time to see the project. You know what I mean? Our fans, our players don't know what's going to hit them.
I actually went to the Atletico Madrid ground as well when I was in Barcelona. I went to Madrid for the day. And no joke, it was so windy on the Atletico Madrid stadium. I was literally felt like I was going to be flown off because it's literally on a big, massive hill and you had to walk 4 flights of stairs to get to the top. And then after that, right, that's just where the mega store was for Atletico Madrid, and then you got to walk up further stairs to actually get into the stadium. It's ridiculous. It is so I just couldn't imagine it to be so high up. I'm gonna have to see if I can find a picture. But
it's a cracking. Is that a new stadium?
No, it's always been their stadium.
Have you? Is that the one that?
I can't remember. Yeah, it's Atletico Madrid Stadium. Let's see if I can find a picture. But honestly, it was just so windy. My hair was all over the place. But there's what the stadium looks like. Oh, that's the wrong way around. So there's what the stadium looks like.
Looks a canny stadium, man.
Yeah, beautiful it was a very beautiful stadium, and you can see it there. The stadium.
Metropolitan.
But honestly, my hair was so windy. My hair was disgraceful, but it was a very beautiful stadium because I got that and the Bernabeu out of the way in one day.
I tell you what, though, I mean, I've never been to Madrid. I'd love to go to Madrid. I really would. But one day I will do. I've always wanted to go to Madrid, so look at the city as well. I think it's going to be beautiful. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be hot over there as well. But
I went during January, so it was pretty cold when I went. But it was 14 degrees. 14 degrees isn't bad. It is warm for here, that's for sure.
It is. It's warmer than the UK.
It was like 2 degrees.
Oh no! Wow. But I think Simeone will go to if he's going to go to a club, I think he'll go to Inter Milan. That's my guess. But he used to play for them, so I think Inzaghi, Simone Inzaghi, need to get him in the top 4.
Agreed.
I think he will.
Hey there, John Hand. Thanks for coming in. I hope you are well. And hey there, Matata. I hope you are well. Thanks for coming in. Been a while as well since I've seen you. Lou Man is also in the chat. Thank you for coming in. Hope you are well. What if Newcastle does a Brighton or a City or a Liverpool? I'm scared it can happen, and Ten Hag no good in stopping the bleeding at all. I must be honest, I'm not confident for the game coming ahead. But I do also think it's going to be a very tight game. I think it's very hard, especially. I said this on Tony's channel yesterday. I do think Eddie Howe has made a fortress at St. James's Park, and not many teams, even the best teams of the Manchester Cities, aren't getting results at St. James's Park.
That's the thing. I mean, look, we went 3-1 up against Man City. I honestly think he was going to just about do it. But since Haaland got that goal straight after, I thought we're not going to win this game. Because he scored another goal. But it is a fortress at St. James. Liverpool beat us this season. The only team to beat us this season by the looks of it. And he has done really well. But one thing I'm going to say, right? I mean, we got to keep making it a fortress, Maisy, because at the end of it, we've got to make it hard for teams to come up to our place and make the atmosphere, as harsh to any other opposition. Make it impossible. Make it hostile as possible. And that's exactly what you've been doing.
That's what I said about Man. This is what I said about what Ten Hag's doing at Man United. I think he's making Old Trafford a bit like a fortress, because there hasn't been many teams this season who's gone to Old Trafford and got 3 points out of there. And I think it's very hard to. It's been harder to go to Old Trafford since the recent years, because I think, especially when you look at the Sir Alex Ferguson days, everyone was scared to go to Old Trafford. They didn't want to come to Old Trafford because they knew it was hard. But I think you start to see that in glimpses of Ten Hag this season.
Yeah, I could have to agree. I mean, you got beat up Brighton the first game of the season. Then he knew what he's in for. But you're right. I mean, he's changing it up, like he's turning it around, and he's doing a fantastic job at Old Trafford. He really is winning games as well, defending properly, and got to a style then the fans are going to enjoy. But I like him, but he's making up excuses yet again.
Oh, is it about the time wasting?
He said about a quote. I got a quote here. If I can find it, I won't share it, but I can find it here. And I put on this. I found it on Magpie 247's Twitter account as well. If I could just get it up a second, if it allows.
I think the thing is, Ten Hag, I think he likes saying stuff. I think he likes to try and get some kind of reaction out of the managers before games. I don't know why he does that.
That is the thing. He loves doing that. Just playing mind games. But we're not like that at all. We're not going to fall for it. Let's be real. We're not going to fall for it. But what he said was, if I can find out, it's not following. Is this it? Nah, this is coming. It's coming and coming. There we go. Ten Hag. He said, was asked about if Newcastle. He said they're a team that are hard to beat. They delay. That is what the referee doesn't want. Tempo of the game is the aim of the Premier League to do and act what the policy is. And let's be real, right? I mean, I'm not going to lie, but some of your players do cheat. Someone like Bruno Fernandes, right? That's number one.
I agree with that. I think he does.
Right? And I'll tell you something else as well, right? This guy, right, is annoying a lot of Newcastle fans already. They call him Klopp Mark 2. With his excuses, yeah.
I don't think he makes excuses though. I don't think he makes excuses as such with Klopp, where he says we've lost because of the wind, or we've lost because of this, or we've lost because of that. I just think for me, in terms of pre-conferences, he just likes to get a bit of a reaction out of the other fan base. He's not like Klopp, where he makes excuses. If anything, I'd say who's like Klopp would be Tuchel, because he was the one who made plenty of excuses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't expect Tuchel to make excuses, but he has been. Jurgen Klopp's the worst making excuses, Maisy. He really is. And I said that on Lucas' channel earlier on. He makes so much excuses, it's unreal. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, one of these days, again, we're going to beat Klopp's team for the second time since he's taken over the club. And, I just think he's trying to play mind games, like, you know what I mean? But it's just trying to rattle us. And we're not like that now. We used to in the past, not anymore. We're just going to go there, do our thing. If we played like we did last season in James's Park, but put the goals back in the net, we'll win the game. But David De Gea was outstanding. He was outstanding.
Yeah. Talking about goals in the back of the net, what's happened with Callum Wilson, would you say? Just because I think for me, I love Callum Wilson. I've always liked Callum Wilson. Since the Bournemouth games, I've really liked Callum Wilson. But I just wonder, it's really dipped, hasn't he, post Euro Cup?
Yeah, and the thing is as well, I mean, we're coming to April tomorrow, so he scored 1 goal, 1 assist in 4 months. That ain't good enough. If you look at top 4, you're a striker. You've got to score goals. That's your job, yeah? And also, you got to put yourself about. And he hasn't even done that. I know people say he's cover this and cover that, yeah? But he's still playing. He's still playing, yeah? You can't sugarcoat that. He hasn't been good enough. That is the thing. And I want my strikers to score goals. I want my strikers to score 20 goals a season. Yeah? Callum Wilson's not going to get us that, unfortunately. You know why? because he's injury prone. Look at Isak. Isak, excuse me, will probably get us 12 to 15 goals by the end of the season because he's that good. That tells me we need a striker in the summer. No disrespect to Callum Wilson. I love him. But at the end of the day, you have to ask the question now. You have to ask the question. Do you want Champions League? Do you want to get us the goals to get us there? For me, personally, it's going to be no. I love Callum Wilson as well as an average Newcastle fan. But for me, with those stats, Maisy, they're not good enough.
No.
Excuse me.
It's not like him as well.
It's not, no. Like Coffee said, Milton's a tap-in. That sums up a season. 6 goals this season, 7 goals this season. For me, that's a number 9. That ain't good enough, yeah?
You want a 15-goal a season striker.
Minimum.
Yeah.
If you are to get to fight for...
And that's just in the league, by the way. Just the league, not
just the league.
Including other competitions.
That in the league. It's got to be in the league. 15 league goals, and that gives us a chance. But you look at players like Julian Alvarez, right? He's hardly been in the team at Man City. I'd love to get him. But look, at the end of the day, we need a striker. There's plenty out there. I mean, for me personally, we're not going to pay 120 million for Victor Osimhen. There's no way, because we can get him for the next 10 years with that kind of investment.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be fantastic. But you've got to get Champions League first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. There's quite a lot of questions, so we'll go to the questions before we do wrap up. We'll go through a couple. Okay. Ravi said, question, thoughts for how both teams start in this game. I think, in my opinion, both teams need to start quick to get any kind of result. And I think that was the downfall with Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, is that you didn't start as fast as you probably like to have started fast, where Man United got 2 goals in the first half and then tried to control the second half. And I think this is what Newcastle probably needs to do when it comes to St. James's Park. But yeah, what's your opinion, John?
I have to agree. We've got to start fast. We've got to start how we've been always starting the season. We're creating enough chances. We've just got to score more goals. We're just not scoring enough goals. We're missing a lot of chances. And you just cannot keep doing that if you want to get top 4 this season. Just do your thing, keep playing, just play your stuff, and just put pressure on your back 4. I mean, there's targets you can aim for. Maguire, if he plays, we've got to target him. ASM,
I don't think he'll start. Hopefully not, anyway.
I know, but we've got no Casemiro. Our midfield should be fine. We've got to control that midfield. If you control the midfield, then we can win the game. Our defense got to be defended properly. Marcus Rashford might not be playing on Sunday. He's out injured, which is...
he's fit. He's fit.
He's fit now, isn't he?
Yep. It's been confirmed in Ten Hag's press conference that Rashford is fit and Anthony Martial's available.
Wow. Okay, cool. So that means he'd be playing up front. So that's not good news.
I think he'd probably start Weghorst still.
Yeah.
And then he'll probably bring him on in the last... 20 to 30 minutes for a bit of pace.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we won't see Martial again until next season. Because he's been injured that much.
I know. I mean, he basically didn't play well, Sevilla, because he wanted to come back to Man United. That's what it is. But you know what it is, right? I mean, we've got to start well. We've got to defend properly, on point as well. We're not conceding lots of goals, by the way. But we've got to be careful. Sven Botman's come back from the food poison because he didn't get a game for Holland because he got sent home with food poison. So he was gutted not to make his first cap as well. I mean, Dan Burn, we have to be on point as well. Cameron, what are you doing, Dan? Trippier doing Trippier things. But the key man on Sunday is going to have to be Bruno Guimaraes. If he takes the game,
and Isak.
And Isak as well. I think Isak can probably cause your defence a lot of problems as well. I can see Jake Murphy starting again on Sunday. I think he'd be starting Murphy. And on the left-hand side, if Joe would have plays in mid, he's going to be on the left-hand side. Would he Joe Linton or would it be ASM? For me, personally, I'd go with Joe Linton.
Yeah, I know you've already mentioned about your 11, but I think ours would be De Gea, Shaw, Martinez, Varane. I think Wan-Bissaka will start. I think I'll probably be pulling my hair out if Dalot's starting. And then I'd say, this is the thing what's making me feel sick about the midfield now.
Ericsson's stat, by the way.
Ericsson will probably be on the bench. So it'll probably be looking like... Because I heard Sabitzer is injured, which isn't good.
Ooh,
so it's going to be Scott, Fred, Bruno. Oh, this is giving me Ollie vibes. It's just... I'm feeling sick now. But... and then it'd be Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right, and Weghorst up top.
Wow.
Yeah, not good. Hey there as well, Jordan. I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. I've been rating David Raya for so long, man. Like, no joke. I've rated David Raya since the Championship days. I even said, like, he's going to be our top club. Everyone's liking Raya now. Like, I love Raya so much. Like, he's quality. What do you think of David Raya, John?
He's having a good season. We put 5 goals past him, by the way, at St. James's Park. But on his day, he's a fantastic keeper on his day. We got to play Brentford next Saturday as well. So we'll be facing him again. So if we play what we did at St. James's, then we'll win the game. But at this moment in time, he's a cracking keeper. I think he's a brilliant keeper. Me.
I think the Brentford Community Stadium, just as other teams in their own stadium, they've made a fortress at their ground. I think it's hard to go to the Brentford ground. I think it's called, is it GMX now or something like that?
GMX, is it GMX or something like that?
So, yeah, I still gotta call it Brentford Community Stadium, but
yeah,
I think they've really made a fortress anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Thomas Frank's done a fantastic job there. What he's done at the club with his money ball as well, I think he's terrific manager. He's another manager who's turned down Tottenham, by the way. He's not going to leave Brentford for Tottenham. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem. Tottenham are a problem club in a minute. Like, he's going to go to Tottenham. He wants to go there and work with Levy.
Exactly. I would not want to work with Levy. I'd rather be skinned.
And Harry Kane will be gone. Harry Kane, they're going to wait and find out if Harry Kane's going to stay in the summer. If Harry Kane goes, no one ain't going to go there.
Oh, absolutely not. I like coffee. Garnacho is injured, but Pellistri will be fit. I can't see Pellistri playing though in the game. I must be honest. Kai said he thinks a 2-2 draw. Question from Nippon for you, John. Do you say St. Maximin as a future as a France international full time?
In my honest opinion, no. There's better players there. I mean, you got Mbappe there as well. You got that guy Munami. They plays for Frankfurt. That Munami, whatever his name is, plays for Frankfurt as well. You got Marcus Thuram. They could all play on the left hand side. And that guy from Chelsea came from Leipzig. Is it Canuto that plays up front? He's joined Chelsea. He's going to join Chelsea in the summer, sort of thing.
Christopher
Nkutu. Yeah, he'd be at Chelsea next season. And for me, ASM, I'm sorry, not for me. I don't think, in my opinion, he ever played again in the French team. It's a shame.
No.
He needs to work on his finishing. He needs to work on his end product. That is the thing. And unless he gets an end product and sorted out, Alan Maximin will not play for the full France team.
Do you know the thing is? I think it says a lot when the France team for the World Cup was a very injured team. They didn't really have many midfielders, and he still wasn't able to get into that team. And I think if he wasn't able to get into that team in the World Cup, I personally don't think he'll ever get into it either. Especially when you've got all the players who's going to be fully fit and they bring the form back, because Paul Pogba will probably end up coming back in when he plays more games for Juventus. And N'Golo Kante, another one, he'll be coming back into that team once he gets back into playing properly. And I just think it says a lot when France doesn't have the players that they did in the last World Cup, but they still managed to get runners up with the World Cup.
I'm going to have to agree. I'm really going to have to agree. I mean, ASM's 26 now, and the next World Cup would be, 3 years' time? That'd be 29. You're not getting a team. There's just no way. But basically, I have to agree with you there, because you got Pogba. You just mentioned Pogba and N'Golo Kante. When they're both fit, they'd be back in again. No question about that. So it's going to be tough for ASM, I'm afraid, to get back into the French national side. It's as simple as that. But wow, what can I say? He had an opportunity, to show us that he plays well. every single week, and he hasn't really done it, and he saw. And like I said, you got Mbappe in there. You got, like I said, you've got players like Thuram Clay right on the left-hand side. And you got some great players there as well. Kingsley Coman down the left-hand side as well. So,
yeah, Kingsley Coman. Yeah, they've got a few. And you know what? Right. I actually think Deschamps is the best international manager in the world right now. Because it really has a strong will for a manager who's able to get to back-to-back World Cups, back-to-back World Cup finals.
Absolutely. You got to be so good at it. Like, there may be some newer players coming through if you perform. But that's if you perform, right, on a regular basis, then you're going to get into the team. Simple as that. If you're that good. If you don't perform, like ASM hasn't done, he's been too consistent for me. He's never going to get in the French team. He just won't do it. And
agreed.
I'm sorry, but, I'm being real. I mean, all some of Newcastle fans think he should be in the French squad. No, he shouldn't, because he has got an product to this game. 1 assist, 1 goal in 3 months. That ain't going to get into the French national team, really. Nah.
No. Question from Reese for you, John. Was actually close to selling Newcastle sooner than he did. I'm sure if I remember when I was reading the thread, he was close. Man City's owners was close to signing in 2007, but he messed it up.
Correct, absolutely. He wanted more money. But the first choice they wanted to buy us, right? And he wanted more money. When he met, he asked for money, and then they just spoke to it. So they bought Man City instead. I mean, he put the club close to about 400 mil, something like that. So they're going by Man City for a lot less, for about 180 million or something like that. But I'm just gutted. When I heard that, I thought, gee whiz.
And didn't he turn up drunk? Like when he was...
Yeah, he did. He turned up drunk. He turned up drunk. And that's what I'm hearing. He turned up drunk and he wasn't impressed with his actions. So told him to be off and go and Man City instead. But now, 15 years later, right? Hey, got new ownership and I'm happy. But 15 years is a long time, but at least it's done.
Question from Brother. Thoughts on where you both will finish in the league? I'm going to go 4th or 5th for Man United.
That means it could be 3rd then, because we'll be Champions League as well. For me, I'm going to go 4th.
Yeah. I said from the beginning, I think we'll finish 5th, but then we'll get into Europa League for the Champions League. We'll win that. And we're still in the Europa League, so I suppose that's a good option. I know why rather Anthony, has he been good enough long term? Ravi knows I'm not a fan of Anthony, but the thing is, he hasn't played long enough for me to say if he's a long term option at Manchester United. He hasn't even been there a season, so as much as I've been critical and I've not been a fan of him, it's too early to say if he's long term option for Man United. Ravi said Europa League for the Toon.
Champions League. Champions League.
I'm sure though you'd take Europa.
I take Europa. It depends on the situation in. If you're 4th going to the last game of the season against Chelsea and we lose that game and go to Europa, for me, I think some of the players have bottled it because the opportunity is there and we didn't take it. So it depends how we do. But hopefully, I want to see like game by game, step by step. If we don't get Champions League, Europa League's fantastic. However, that means you have to play on a Sunday at home. I'm going to miss most of the Sunday games. So Champions League, Maisy, is the holy grail for us. Do you know what I mean?
Get your passport renewed, John.
Say again?
Get your passport renewed.
Yes. My passport doesn't expire until 2027.
Well, that's good news then. I don't know what mine expires.
I've got some money saved up. I've got some money saved up anyway. That's why I'm trying not to book off any days. So I've got some like 13 days left. So I've got to keep those 13 days in case you do qualify for the Champions League. And then if I can get a ticket for that game, then cool. I'll definitely be going myself. So if I can't get a ticket, then I'll try and go for the atmosphere for sure. But we'll see. Yes.
Ravi has also asked most improved players for your team. I'll go with you, John, first. If I was going to guess, I think you'd say Joe Linton.
100%. I mean, that guy, he's been a unit since he's had taken over. Put him in midfield. I think this guy works hard for the team. The only downfall is it just gets booked. 10 times, Scott, but he'd be back on Sunday, complete this 2-game ban. And if you're still suspended against United, I'll be gutted because this is a player that you need back.
Mm-hmm. I would say there's two that I've got in mind. I'm going to go with the one of them would be Wan-Bissaka, just because I think for me, Wan-Bissaka is very pacey. He's been great at his defending, but he's improved at going forward. He's actually better than Dalot, who is actually supposed to be a forward fullback at attacking. And in half the less games, Wan-Bissaka has only got one less assist than Dalot. Guess how many assists Dalot's got? Dalot's got 2 assists this season. And he is apparently an attacking fullback. Wan-Bissaka's got 1 assist.
So it ain't right
what
there.
What does that say? And another one who I'm going to have to go for would be Fred. I think knowing that Fred... I think knowing that he's brought Casemiro and he's brought the best in Fred, because especially under Ollie, he was playing defensive-minded and not many players pressed under Ollie and Rangnick, and I think that really tampered with Fred, and I think he was given as a scapegoat for quite a lot. I Like Coffee said a good one here. Marcus Rashford is another one.
Yeah,
I think the only reason why I wouldn't pick Rashford is because I've seen Rashford at his best, and I haven't seen the best out of Wan-Bissaka or Fred at Man United so far until this season.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, Rashford, I didn't want Rashford in Newcastle because I didn't think it was good enough for us yet at the time. But he's proved us wrong. I think he's been absolutely outstanding this season. Him, Casemiro, Martinez has been great. Yeah, brilliant. But we got the things though. We got to attack as well. I mean, Varane and Martinez at the back look really good.
Yeah, they're solid they're really solid at the back, and I think they've made a very good connection. And Martinez even said is that even though they're like so good at playing together, is that they become best friends. They talk to each other all the time about the families. They meet up, and I think it's good to have that kind of connection next to you on the pitch every time you play as someone who's your best friend, because you feel that connection a lot more.
Yeah, and also as well, they both speak Spanish as well, so needs to be so. Yeah, which helps a lot. So, and that's the thing. But you have to have a good communication there, good connection there, like you said, and it'll work out. I mean, Varane needs to be fit every game now. If you're going to get top 4, he is key. When he's fit, he's very good.
Good thing is he's retired from international duty, so I think that gives the best out of us, because every United fan worries during international break. Varane.
Wow.
But knowing that he's retired out of international for France, I think that's benefited Man United a lot better. And Varane has even said that he doesn't want to leave Man United. He wants to retire. If he didn't stay at Man United, the only team he would go to is Lens and retire there. But apart from that, he would retire at Manchester United.
Wow.
And I think that just really shows how much he loves the club as well.
He does. He could have gone to use before the Real Madrid. But here he is now. I mean, he's at a perfect club for 4 years. And he should be captain for our team.
I agree. I would have either Casemiro or Varane.
Yeah, one of the two. Depends if Casemiro can speak English, by the way. And I think he's getting there.
Yeah, he is definitely getting there. I Like Coffee. Last time Wan-Bissaka pocketed ASM, does John and Maisy see any changes in those positions? I don't see.
Nah.
I think apart from injuries, there's nothing really there changed wise, and the suspension of Cass.
I think we not made many changes. Like, you know, we're not going to make any change like hard left. You know what I mean? It's probably the same team that beat Forest, in my opinion. But if Wan-Bissaka does come in, then you have to play Joe Linton there, because Joe Linton works hard. With ASM, right? I mean, I love him. Don't get us wrong, but you've got to be consistent.
Yeah, agreed. We'll wrap it up here now anyway. I know there's been a lot of questions for today, so thank you all for asking the questions, and big thank you to John for coming on. It's been a great show.
You know what it is? So I just like coming on your show always, because at the end of the day, like you talk. So we're talking about a proper fan, a proper podcaster, someone that be real and says it how it is, yeah. And coming on your channel, I'm so blessed all the time, and that's why we love you, Maisy. Do you know what I mean? And by the way, Jules says that she loves you as well.
Jules is really sweet, and honest, I love you both as well, and I'm really happy for you and Jules. Just because I think you make a cracking pair together, and I can see you're very, very happy together as well.
Thank you, dear.
And that's what matters, that you're happy.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, right, we get on each other as well, which is brilliant. So yeah, it's just keep it going, and see.
Absolutely.
So,
would you like to shout out your socials, John?
I sure will do. Thank you very much.
And your score prediction.
And your score prediction. Right, score prediction. I'll comment on that one in a bit. In fact, I say it now. I'm going to say Newcastle 2, United 1, of course. I will say that. Sorry, Maisy, but I think we'll win that game. And I know you don't agree with it, but for me, what's your score going to be before I give my
I had 1-1.
1-1. Fair enough. That stands. I take a draw in a way. And yeah, so if you look at my socials, we've gone to TikTok and to YouTube and Facebook, and you go into John Sinclair TV. And if you go on to Insta, John Sinclair 50. If you go on to social media, it's John_MUFC42. And I'll follow you back if you follow us, which is fantastic. And also, as well, I've got my show reviews tomorrow, 5 o'clock. And the watch along, are we on for watch along Sunday?
Yeah, sounds good.
I start 3:30, but I'll probably get you on about 4-ish, like, you know what I mean? But I may get you on a bit earlier than that as well. So, yeah, if we'll come 3:30, cool, that'll be fine. So, that's a cracking game. So, yeah, I'll be doing the watch on for the first time in months. So, join us for that, people. And if you follow Maisy's channel as well, please join us on the watch along as well. We'll make you gentle. And so, we've got the watch along Sunday, the preview views Saturday, which is tomorrow.
I look forward to it, and thank you so much, John, for coming on. I really, really appreciate it, and it's always good to have you on, as always. If you haven't already, go and give John a subscribe and a follow. I'll put your socials in the description, so go and check John's channel out. I will be live very early tomorrow. I'll be live at 11:15 in the morning. Man United women is playing at 11:30 in the morning. Like, would you believe it? Like, it's just scandalous. Like, who puts women's football on at 11:30 in the morning? Like, I'm literally like, it's my weekend, man. I want to sleep, but but you know, I love doing the women's shows, so I wouldn't change it. So thank you very, very much, John, for coming on. And as I say, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and check both me and John out tomorrow on his channel, 5 p.m. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.